Tyler Ramos. Tyler Ramos. Tyler Ramos.
Here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB, guys. And don't forget, this is going to be the last time I say it, ATB is now its own channel, so make sure you go subscribe to the Around the Blockchain channel. And yeah, guys, we have an awesome show for you guys tonight. As you guys know, we have Gareth Soloway on tonight. I am super excited to talk to Gareth and get his take on the market because finally, Bitcoin's not sleeping. I'm pretty sure the last time Gareth came on, Bitcoin was absolutely in complete REM sleep. So now we are going to have an absolute blast. I'm super excited to hear what Gareth thinks about the market because we are at a pretty interesting level. As you guys know, we are hitting up against a key level of resistance, and it looks like it wants to come down, but we're just not budging at this point. I know, I at least the last time we talked to Gareth, I believe he had some lower targets for Bitcoin. So I'm interested to see if he still thinks those targets are viable or if he has flipped bullish. So super excited to see what he has to say. I know you guys were pumped about this in the Discord. I heard you guys popping off. Can't wait for Gareth tonight. I know he's one of your favorite guests, so I'm excited to have him on. But before we jump into it, guys, don't forget to smash that like button if you love Gareth Soloway. If you want Bitcoin to keep going up, smash that like button, and every 100 likes we get, we will be spinning that wheel of pain and pleasure where you guys will have a chance to win crypto, hats, books, and hey, guys, you never know. Last year for Bitcoin Miami 2022, we did give away 2 tickets, so I'm not guaranteeing we'll have tickets this year, but maybe, just maybe we'll be able to do that again. That would be super dope. Before we jump into it with Gareth, guys, let's go ahead and say what is going on to the Mafia. I see you guys popping off in chat already. Who do we got in here? We got Jason. What is going on, Jason? Shout out to you, bro. We got Hillbilly Crypto. Shout out to the Billies taking over the crypto space. Working those calves. That's right, guys. Right before we were going live, I am always facing the corner of the room doing those calf raises. You know it. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for being here. Dave Digital, as always, thank you so much for always showing support to the channel, bro. I see you out there. Steve Atwell, what is going on? Two legends. Absolutely. Shout out to Steven. I appreciate that, bro. Shout out to Jules. Shout out to Brad Guidell, as always, shouting out Dave Digital there. I appreciate you for being here, bro. Tim, what is going on? We got David Brumbelow in the house. What is going on? Saying what's good to Crypto Anon. Shout out to the mods, guys. We got the best mods in the game. I appreciate everything you guys do. Show the mods some love in chat, guys. Let's get a couple more people out of the way here. We got Brightish Crypto, Jim Scott, what is going on? Indiana Candles, what is going on, man? Thank you for being here. Always love hanging out with you. Shout out to Alex O Crypto. Shout out to Nina. Shout out to Nully Crypto Main. Super Snoopy, what is going on? Shout out to Thumbalero. And I see Tony D and Metabyte sneaking in at the end there. What is going on, guys? I appreciate you all for tuning in. And guys, I don't want to keep. I might be more excited than you guys to hear what Gareth has to say. So before we have him waiting too long, guys, let's go ahead and bring up Gareth Soloway. Gareth, what is going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, Frankie. Thanks for having me. Awesome to be here, and I'm looking forward to talking charts.
Of course, as always, man. And I think the last time you were here, Bitcoin was basically sleeping. Nothing really that exciting happening on the charts. Finally, we get some positive price action. So I think basically what we're going to do is, I guess if you don't mind, maybe just sharing what you have on the charts, what you have your eyes on. And then I actually have a couple of questions for you. And then towards the end, we could throw it to the CandleMafia, and we do have some questions from them. But to kick it off, what are you looking at? Massive pump? Are you feeling bullish yet? Is it a scam pump? What do you think?
I mean, so that's the key, right? So number one, I think we have to look at it in perspective. And I think this is the key, right? Is that number one, and let me show my chart here. Let's take a look at the charts, is that it's been an awesome pump. And you can see the breakout when it occurred. You take this high, which was the FTX beginning collapse high. You connect it to that secondary high. And you could see when the breakout occurred right here. This one candle right here checked back to that line, and then off to the races it went. And now the key is this, right? Is we've had this beautiful move up on Bitcoin, but look at where it stalled out, right at that FTX high. And remember that, the FTX high represents a psychological hurdle for the market, and meaning that this was where a lot of people were buying Bitcoin over here thinking, oh, it was finally bottoming. We were going sideways for a long period of time, and then the rug got pulled out from underneath them. And so the reason why this pivot high is such a key resistance level is because when individual investors lose a chunk of their account very, very quickly, when they get back to break even, there's this tendency to say, okay, my account is back to where it was. Let me sell, right? So that's essentially what you have going on here, is that all these people over here are now break even, and they're saying, okay, let me sell and exit the position. And so that creates that resistance line. In addition, it's a psychological level. We all know that this is where the fraud came to light on FTX, where the debacle kind of occurred. And so if price could get above there, that would be impressive, right? That would be a psychological break point. But as long as we stay below this in the near term, I think you have to be a little bit measured in your approach to how bullish you are. In addition, I mean, I go on Twitter. I see the insanity. I mean, you wouldn't believe the amount of people that are just pumping relentlessly, as if you'd think, if I just looked at Twitter, I'd be like, oh, Bitcoin must be at 65,000 already, right? Because of how crazy the move has been. And so if you put it in perspective, look at the move we're talking about, right? Look at that little bit of a move right there. So again, I'm all for price action, and volatility is what I live off of, right? I can make money in moves to the upside and downside. I just can't make money when the market does nothing. And we've been in that long period where it was doing nothing. So now we're getting some opportunities. Now I have looked at I've put out some trade signals short. We shorted Solana, Ethereum right up in this range. I haven't done Bitcoin yet. I still have a long position in Bitcoin that I'm holding just in case it breaks out. But ultimately, I do believe that we should pull back here in the next week or so.
Yeah, and, that's something very similar to what we're looking at. It does seem like it wants to slow down. It just keeps inching up and up. And, the shorts were obviously getting smacked around for quite a bit there. Now, with all that being said, there are some things that are happening that I know are making people feel, very, very bullish. Obviously, you got people on Twitter screaming, the bull market's back on, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, with the 200-day moving average being broken, I know there's also some macro reversal signals on the higher time frames. We did have a falling wedge with, I think, a technical target of about 28 to 30K. With this stuff, mostly the 200-day moving average, which I think is what people are putting a lot of weight on right now. Do you think that there's a higher chance of the bottom being in, or do you think this is just an expected bear market rally?
Yeah, I'm in the camp that it's an expected bear market rally, and I can't wait for the day where I can go all out bull on Bitcoin and say, okay, now we're finally made a bottom. But, a couple things concern me. Number one, I've never seen a bear market end with this much hype out of a small move to the upside, right? So again, we showed that big picture about the type of move. Usually when bear markets end, people on the they're like, wait a minute, I don't trust this because I've been burned so many times. In addition, it's very common, and I showed this, let me show my my Tesla chart here, but it's very common in bear markets for the market to have, or that individual stock to have, pretty significant moves to the upside. So let me see if I can do this here, a price range, right? So if you look at Tesla, right, from peak to trough right here, that's a 48% move. And look at price after that. It still collapsed to the downside. So, there's this term in the stock market, and now it applies to crypto and commodities, everything. It's called, in bear markets, you get these rip your face off rallies. Like, they're so intense that they lure people into believing that the bear market is over, only to dash their dreams and push it to new lows. And so I'm kind of in that camp where, to me, at this stage, it's about, about a 35% rally off of the lows, give or take. Yep. So far, to me, we haven't taken off the FTX high. We're still in a phase of Fed tightening, right? They haven't even gone to neutral yet. And so I have to at least err on the side of caution and more sell into the rallies versus buying here for a bigger move.
Yeah, I would agree. I am holding a long position, similar to you, holding my long position, looking for those shorts. Haven't pulled the trigger on any of those shorts yet. We are keeping our close eye on Bitcoin because it does look to us as it is going to turn around. Now, this is kind of pulling away from, your rational trader brain. For me personally, I kind of talk about this sometimes, like, guys, listen, like, I want Bitcoin to go back down. If I was listening to my emotions, like, I want it to go back down. Now, I'm not just blindly making trading decisions based off of that. But if this rally were to mark the bottom of the bear market, or marking that the bottom is already in, are you, if you had to just listen to your emotions, or just kind of like what you would prefer Bitcoin to do, are you happy for it to take off from here, or are you kind of rooting for it to come back to the downside to grab some more long-term holdings?
Yeah, so I definitely, listen, the cheaper it gets, the more I can buy, right? So I'm not opposed to it coming back in. So yeah, if I had to hope for one direction, I would like for it to come back in just so I could buy more, frankly, as I am a huge long-term bull. So yeah, I think that would be the ideal scenario. I think that, we have to also look at, in terms of a potential bottom, keep in mind that Bitcoin's previous bear markets have all gone down more than this one. And so you also have to say, wait, this is the first bear market where the Fed's not printing money and they're actually tightening. Yet it doesn't make sense for the bear market in Bitcoin to only be down 70% versus the 80 to 85 normally it goes down. And maybe maybe adoption has helped. But again, you just have to, for me as a very logical robotic trader, it gives me pause, right? And again, one of the biggest things, and I know you tell you guys this, is that you can't let emotion cloud your judgment. As much as I want Bitcoin to go to $1 million or wherever it is, you have to look at it in this very even, like, pros and cons list and see what makes sense. And then that's the way you kind of position yourself. And again, by no means does that mean I don't have any long Bitcoin. I have long on Bitcoin. I just don't have as much as I want when I think the bottom is finally in.
Yeah, totally. And, it breaks my heart. I see a lot of people just like, even, we talk to crypto people every day, and it's like, oh, the bottom's in. I missed the bottom. And I'm like, calm down. Like, it's like, don't FOMO in now. I get a lot of people texting me like, should I buy Bitcoin? The bottom's in. Should I buy it all in now? And I'm like, Don't buy the giant green candles on the daily. So like you said, emotionless and robotic is definitely the way to go, at least when you're trading.
Yeah, and I think one of the things to kind of keep in mind for investors too is like think about the reverse of what happened in 2021. And if I show my chart here, right? So I don't know, where's my chart there, if it's coming up or not. There we go.
There it is.
All right. So what we can see here on the chart, right, is that over here in 2021, we had kind of the inverse of maybe what's happening. You had this big sell off, then you had this big pop, and then you had the bear market start. So I wonder if it's possible that this is the inverse of it. So that was an M pattern. What if this is a W and then you have that one final flush to kind of catch everyone off guard, and then you have the so again, it's the same kind of thing as where here everyone started to get really bearish on the charts and then it flushed all of them out. Here you're having everyone getting bullish. The question is, does it have that kind of W pattern formation to it? And again, time will tell, right? I mean, that's the crazy thing about it. We don't know for sure until it actually happens.
Yeah, and it's all 2020 is always hindsight too. So it's like I can't wait for the bull market to come, and people are going to go back to that one time where they mentioned that the bottom might be in. They'll be like, I called it. It was so obvious. But hey, I mean, it is fun to go back and look at that stuff. But yeah, I am basically thinking the same thing and definitely hoping the same thing, that this is a little bit of a fake out, that the 200-day moving average does have me a little like, oh boy, I hope we can get back underneath that. But yeah, I am hoping, and I do think, again, it's like I always tell the Candle Mafia, like, I feel the FOMO still. I still feel when price rips, I feel it. I just don't act on it. So I think it's really important for people to realize. But like you said, comparing this, the current price action to, that first dump in May that we got before the big second top that we got in the bull market, it reminds me, I bring up the bull market constantly. The one thing that had me a little bit worried is, or has me a little bit worried for making another low, is that, everybody was calling for 100K in the bull market and we never got it. And now I feel like a lot of people are calling for lower lows, which I do believe could happen, but just gives me a little bit of PTSD. Is like, I don't want to be that last bear holding on. That's, I have been slowly DCing into the market, but I do plan on weighting my dollar cost averaging up. Like every time we make a lower low, I'll up kind of not the leverage, but I'll double down on my investments as we make lower lows. So I really do hope we get down to some lower lows. But I am worried that there are a lot of people now calling for it, which wasn't the case in the beginning. I will.
No, there wasn't. Yeah. And you're right. I mean, and what's so interesting about this scenario is you have people that are saying, hey, we're going down much, much lower. And then you have the other side that's like, no, the bottom's in. And it's pretty, like, both sides are pretty large, right? So one side is going to be wrong, and it's going to be interesting to see which one.
Yeah, it's when it all unfolds, it'll be very, very interesting to see. But you as a trader, me as a trader, a lot of the viewers as a trader, we, like you said in the beginning of the stream, we just need volatility. That's really all we need to make our money. That's the nice thing, right? If we never get Bitcoin to get to those lower lows to buy more, we could just continue to long it on the way up.
Right. And I think that's important for people to understand, is that, like, there's points where, like, if we get above the FTX high pivot and we start to consolidate and make a bull flag, then I read the bull flag and I know the support level, and then I buy the bull flag for a move up. Now, maybe I'm not in it for a long period of time. Maybe I'm only in it for 20% gain, but there's always trades. It doesn't matter. Like, the most important thing, a good investor and trader is neither a bull nor a bear. You just take advantage of whichever side has the higher probability.
Yeah, 100%. I always tell people, like, I'm a long-term bull on crypto in general, because it's like in the bear market, they were like, wow, Frank, you're such a bear. Like, you don't even like crypto? And I'm like, I love crypto. I'm bullish on crypto, but I mean, we're in a bear market. That's where the money is.
Yeah, you don't being a bear or a bull doesn't mean you have to be stupid either, right? And if you see price is going to go down, why do you hold on to it and be like, oh, well, I'll just watch my money vanish,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 100%. I do want to try to move into some of the Candle Mafia's questions, because I know there's a bunch of really good ones. Again, last time I think we had you on, Bitcoin was sleeping, so we finally get this price action. So the first question comes from Nima, and they say, do you think the Bitcoin halving can bring back the bull run despite the macro? So this is interesting. Despite the macro looking bearish and stocks going lower.
Yeah, I do think it will be one piece of the puzzle, right? So, I mean,
Mhm.
the beautiful thing about it is I view over the next 24, well, more so 12 months or just beyond, which takes us to the halving, is that you're going to have multiple pieces of the puzzle fall into place. Number one, you're going to get regulation, and regulation will breed transparency, which will then convince big money that it's safe again after FTX to get back involved. And that's money that you need to drive up price. Then you take into account, okay, now you have transparency in a sector, it's getting more credibility, because I think regulation, weirdly enough, brings about kind of, this realization that if the government's regulating it, then they say that it's a legitimate type of investment, right? So that
Mhm.
brings back that side of it. Then you take the halving into account, and yeah, these are all things that together should bring about that bull market. So I do think it's coming back, and I actually think that the next bull market will be probably the longest bull, and maybe, percentage wise, maybe not, because when it was, when Bitcoin was a buck or two, obviously percentage wise, but I think that this next bull market can really shoot it way above 100,000, because I think the transparency will then bring about, big money investment coming into it.
Yeah, and TJ actually has been pretty vocal about this. How he basically agrees with that. Where if the regulation can come in and we might actually get that regulatory bull run, he thinks the same thing. He thinks this could be the biggest and longest bull market or he calls it like the actual crypto bull run. And kind of what we've been
Right.
seeing now have just been like little mini bubbles, and then the regulation comes in, the big boys can actually start putting big amounts of money in, and then that's where you see crypto really start to shine. And I would say I basically agree with that. If we can get that regulatory clarity, I mean that's essentially what we're waiting on, right? I think we talked about this briefly on one of our previous streams. Was that in order for these actual institutions to get in, a lot of these guys have an obligation to invest their money in. They can't invest their money in unregulated assets. So I would have to completely agree with that. And I do think also, with the like you said, the halving is a part of what can cause this too. I think a lot of people, I believe in the 4-year cycle, but I think a lot of people are kind of get just like very, I don't know if fanatical is the word for it, but like they really lean like the halving happens. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. As long as the halving happens, Bitcoin is going to moon. So I really like that you brought up that it is a mix of things.
It is a mix of things, and the one thing I would just say is like when too many, and this goes for highs and lows on Bitcoin too, right? So if too many people believe that having will create the next mega run, then it probably won't. So I think we just have to be kind of aware of that, and it's not to say that it won't help Bitcoin and everything like that, but it does concern me as well. Is that when everyone's like, oh, the next bull market will happen on this date because of the halving, that's like that makes me real nervous. Like the market has a funny way of proving the majority wrong in these scenarios. And we saw it at the highs on Bitcoin. When Bitcoin was 69,000, the majority, I mean, like 95% of people were like, Bitcoin's going to 100K. And of course, it goes to 20 or sub 20 instead. So just be careful. Like, it's the same thing in stocks investing is like, when everyone's saying like this event is going to be a huge deal and it's going to create this move, chances are it's going to be the opposite move.
Yeah, I mean, and we see it time and time again. Even I think one of the more famous ones, at least in crypto, was everybody was like, Elon Musk is going on Saturday Night Live. Dogecoin's gonna moon. Oh my god! Everybody bought it,
That was the
and
top.
it absolutely dumped. So yeah, we see this happen all the time. Same thing with in my opinion, it's when I hear a lot of people talking about, oh, this is gonna pump Bitcoin. It's either gonna do the opposite or just be a complete, do nothing. Right? Like the Super Bowl was, everyone was all amped on the crypto commercials. We're going to get a huge pump. And then it just sat there. So yeah, it's like counter trading the herd usually winds up working out in your favor.
It's so true, man. No, it's and the beautiful thing about it, I mean, in crypto, it's going to continue to be exciting because there's just so much new stuff coming out, whether it's technology wise or if it's like, just about the price action and the regulation. I mean, it's going to be a great space to pay attention to over the next couple of years. And I do believe that, if you ask me where Bitcoin is 6 months from now, I think personally it's probably lower. If you say, where is it 2 years, 3 years from now, I think it's quite a bit higher.
Yeah, 100%. And I do kind of talking about how not try to time the bottom, but, people trying to figure out, is the bottom in? Are we going lower? Kind of on that topic. We have a question here from Bully Barry, and he says, my usual bear market strategy was obviously not effective during this recent pump. But what signs do you look for to make that makes you consider pivoting your bias, right? Like, obviously in a bear market, you're going to lean bearish. You're probably looking for more shorts than longs. At what point what do you like to see on the charts that kind of says, like, all right, hey, like, it might be time to start leaning a little bit more long heavy?
Yeah, so I think for me it's taking out key technical levels, right? And so for me it's drawing my trend lines on the chart. You do watch the moving averages. I'm a big fan of the moving averages. The only thing with moving averages that have me a little bit more skeptical these days about their importance is that the more people that use them, the less importance they have, right? So again, it's like, for especially like the 20 moving average and the 50, I still rely heavily on the 100, 150, and 200. But like, if you ask any investor out there, they're like, oh, I watch the 50 moving average or I watch the 200. Like, it's a very common thing. And again, what that means is that because we're above the 200, and one of the reasons why I wouldn't be surprised if it dumps back below is that so many people are like, oh, we're above the 200. This has to be a real breakout. And then the market is like, well, you know what? We got everyone suckered in. Let's take it the other way, right? So I think for me, it's more like technical levels that are psychological, right? The market is so psychological. So that FTX level where the debacle occurred is like huge. And then if you go a little bit further out, you start looking at the Terra Luna level, right? Where Terra Luna collapsed. Can you get above these technical levels? One level I'll show you guys here. Let me bring up my chart again. And if we look here, right, let me get rid of these lines that I drew on the chart here. But like, one thing that would be really interesting to me is if you take this line here and you stretch it out, it's around 40,000. If we somehow got above that, that would be potentially a new bull market to me. And the reason I say that is, number one, it's a major trend line here, right? So it's kind of this breakdown point, but it's also more than 50% retracement at that point. So you would then essentially, if you look at where we were, 16,000 to 41 and then 41 to 69, you're basically at that 50%-ish level as well. So to get above that, you would really start to change the narrative on where crypto's going and starting to get it really hyped up again.
All right. That kind of actually bled into our next question. We have RB Darby was talking about how you kind of were mentioning the FTX level being a key indicator for a bullish outlook. And then, these are basically the major things. You're looking at that FTX level. You're looking at that Celsius level. And then, if you start, like you just mentioned, a few minutes ago, if we get above that FTX level and start to maybe bull flag out, that's kind of where you're thinking like, all right, hey, this thing might go up a little bit higher. Because that's kind of, we've been looking at, this current level of resistance that we're at. And it seems like we may want to try to push through. And it's like, is this thing really going to push through this level? So you're waiting for to crack this level, turn it to support, and then get a little bit of bullish consolidation on top of that level to kind of flip and look for more longs.
Yeah, so right now it's into resistance. So I would never buy into resistance. I mean, that's like starting to run a marathon right in front of a brick wall and you slam yourself into a brick wall. So for me, it would have to break. And then even on a break, I don't buy it because that's called chasing. Instead, it would have to break and then consolidate. And then if it builds a consolidation is like digesting a move, right? So it's digesting, getting more energy. It's building that energy up in that flag pattern to make the next big move. And that's where the probabilities start to get towards that 60, 70, 80% chance that you can make money. And really for me, like I at minimum, I'm looking for, like, if I calculate out probabilities, I want 70% chance that I'm going to win. Otherwise, like, I'd much rather go to the casino if it's 50-50 odds, get free drinks, hang out with my buddies. Like, that's gambling. I'm not here to gamble.
Yeah. There's a time and a place, right? Like, if you're going to get free drinks, hang out with your friends, and you're not really too worried about the money you're losing. 100%. Now, we do have another question. Now, this one is kind of just more trading focused, and this is actually an interesting one. Now, typically for me, I know the CandleMafia kind of knows how I like to scan through what coins to trade, and I'm basically looking for, massively gaining coins that might be hitting some key levels, looking for shorts, so on and so forth. But, so C Will asks, do you have any tips oh, wait, no, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. Coleman asks, do you focus on trading the same, 5 to 10 stocks or 5 to 10 cryptos, or is there something that you look for to kind of pick out what coins you're going to trade? Do you just kind of stick to Bitcoin, kind of stocks or crypto together? Like, how do you figure out what you want to trade?
So when it comes to stocks and even commodities and crypto, the biggest thing for me is that I have to make sure that I can limit my risks. And what I mean by that is, like, if a crypto barely trades, I'm not going to be in that crypto. And the reason I say that, and this goes for stocks too, like thinly traded stocks, what can end up happening is I'm looking at chart patterns, and chart patterns and price patterns, they give me probabilities to success. If I'm in something that's thin, one of the risks that you're dealing with is that one investor that has a large position can either buy or sell that you're in. You might be, long and someone sells. And if they can abnormally affect price, like crash price 10% or 5% by just dumping their bag, then that's a risk that I don't even want to go near, right? I want to be in a market that's so liquid that even if Goldman Sachs dumps a position, it's not going to affect price much, because that's limiting my risk. So if you limit those risks that one individual or two can affect a market, now you're only dealing with the pattern formations, which have decades of proving that this is the probability of this next move occurring.
There you go. Yeah. Amazing answer. For me, like I said, I like to, I'll pull up something like cryptobubbles.com, and, I don't really trade stocks, so this is obviously a little bit different, but, I'll go to cryptobubbles.com. I try to find, but kind of a similar situation where, like, I don't really like to try, I don't really trade meme coins. I don't trade super, super low cap stuff, to be honest. Mostly I'm trading Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I will trade the bigger alts, but really nothing out of the top 25, to be honest, unless I'm feeling frisky and want to gamble a little bit. And if I am trading those coins, I am managing my risk much, much tighter than I would if I were looking at something like Bitcoin. But we actually have another really good one, and I'm actually really interested in this too, because you might be able to teach me something as well. Shadester asks, how many hours a day do you analyze the charts? I look at the charts a lot, but when I'm trading, it's different. Like, I look at the charts all the time, but half the time I'm messing around. I'm measuring different things, just trying to look for cool things on the charts. I'm a chart nerd, but on average, when you're actually trading, how much analysis do you actually do? And then with that, kind of a second part to the question is, do you have any tips, which is very relevant right now? Do you have any tips to help maybe a new investor, I guess more of an investor or trader, from FOMOing into a rising asset?
Yeah. So to the first question, I probably spend, 3 or 4 hours looking at charts a day, right? Mm-hmm. Usually, I mainly trade stocks. I trade crypto as well, but crypto, again, because like you, I stick to the top 25. You take out the stable coins from that, it really limits it to maybe the top 20 or so. You're not going to get as many opportunities for a lot of trades in crypto if you're sticking to those, because pretty much everything follows Bitcoin, right? So if there's a level on Bitcoin that's going to make Bitcoin pop, all of them are going to pop. If it fails, all of them are going to fail too. So it's like you can't just go in all 20, because you're basically just banking on Bitcoin for the most part. So when it comes to stocks, it's definitely a matter of looking at that chart setup and kind of just being aware of the different things. But I do scan through like the S&P 500 once a week, and then I'll pick out mainly same thing. I want stocks that trade a lot of volume, so like at least 1 million shares or greater. And then at least I know that when I get in them, I can easily get in and get out. And obviously one individual can't kind of mess my trade up. What was the second part to that question?
What kind of tips would you give a new investor or a trader from FOMOing into a rising asset?
Gotcha. So the first thing to always remember is that when you see, especially when you have your buddies and like if they're not like pros institutional and they're like talking something up, 9 out of 10 times you should stay away from it, right? So like the old saying is when the bagel man or the pizza guy is like telling you a tip, that's probably the time to sell versus buy. It's usually the end of the road. And the reason, by the way, that occurs is because smart money always gets in first. So by the time it filters out to the pizza dude, chances are it's the end and everyone else has got in and he's the last or she's the last one getting in. And then once you have everyone in, there's no more buyers. I mean, in real terms, right? So I think that's important. And then just to really separate yourself, I always use the old adage of like, think about buying a stock or a crypto as if you were going to the mall and you were going shopping for a pair of jeans, right? So if I go to the mall, I don't look at a pair of jeans that were $50 last month and then this month they jacked it up to 300 and I'm not like, "Oh my god, I got to buy this 300 pair of, instead I'm like, "Wait a minute, that was on sale like a month ago. I'll just wait for the sale to come back. I don't need those jeans that much." Always treat crypto or stocks the same way. You don't need it. There's always another trade. And so you don't want to pay up. And it doesn't matter if it runs another 3x on you. Who cares? Because you know what? That was too high risk. And you got to manage your risk as a new trader. So always remember, there's going to be another trade. You're not going to catch everything. You never want to chase. Chasing is like the ultimate sin in investing. Wait on the sidelines patiently. Another trade will come in that fits the criteria that makes it a good investment.
Yeah, absolutely. I say it all the time. I sit on my hands, right? And like right now, we're pumped up. I'm in a long position, but I'm not opening up new longs. I'm not buying altcoins right now because there's giant green candles, and it does hurt. Again, I say it all the time. I feel the emotion. Trust me, my finger wants to. I want to get in, but I'm just not. Obviously, like you said, you have to realize that the risk is very high. Could these altcoins continue to fly? Would I miss out on some potential gains? Yes, but I think the most important thing you said that is there's always going to be another opportunity. These markets are not going anywhere tomorrow. There's going to be more drops. There's going to be more pumps and just endless opportunity to jump into. And I did just want to just talk about that first part of the question, or kind of talking about what you like to trade. Another reason why sometimes, like a lot of the time, I would say I trade mostly Bitcoin. And the reason for that is, like you said, basically everything else follows Bitcoin. So, a lot of times I would find myself, looking at altcoin setups going like, hey, this looks super bullish, or hey, this looks super good for a short. And then, the TA is saying short or long, and then I get absolutely wrecked. And it's just like, okay, Bitcoin ripped and I got stopped out of my short. So just another reason for anybody out there listening, why I, even just what I do trade altcoins, but when I do, you got to keep a real close eye on Bitcoin. Cause again, like Gareth was saying, it's just most stuff is going to follow Bitcoin with the exception of those few outliers.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. We got another question. The next one is from Darren, and he says, "Do you think this is or I guess we kind of covered this. Do you think this is a melt up or bear market rally now before the big capitulation to the end of the bear market?" Which I think you basically answered. You do think it'll eventually go lower.
I do. Yeah. I continue to think that, at least as of now. And again, if we break above some key levels, then that may change. But right now, again, if you look at that zoomed out chart of the all-time high and where the bounce has been, it's really kind of, if you look at other charts in other bear markets, it's really kind of amongst the run-of-your-mill, rip-your-face-off rallies. Doesn't mean it's not a great rally. Doesn't mean people can't make money. But again, I'm skeptical until proven otherwise.
Yeah. And, I love doing that too. When in doubt, zoom out. Are you feeling the FOMO? Go to the weekly chart, zoom out. And it was working a little bit more in the beginning of the rally. We were just a tiny little green pixel. Now we got, 3 little green pixels, but still in the grand scheme of things. Right. I love that, telling people just zoom out, look at it like we're not going to the moon just yet, and we're going to retrace at some point. So I think that's definitely important to tell people. And then Sniper's Nightmare. This was another really good question. This was from Crypto Kill a Whale. And he says, what is the best time of day to trade crypto if you have one? Not time frames, but at what time of each day? Early mornings, evenings, midnight? Do you have a time of day where you find it's a little bit more beneficial to trade crypto?
That's a good question. I never really thought about that with crypto, but now that I do think about it, I would say look right around the stock market opening or right around 8:30 in the morning. So 8:30 in the morning is when they usually release economic data. So you'll get the jobs report, you'll get, things like that. And so I would generally say if you're looking to trade and you want volatility, you want those type of news blasts or the stock market opening where you'll get a big move up or down that will then impact crypto. Because again, we know that risk assets still do impact Bitcoin and crypto overall. So it makes sense that economic news would be kind of that. So I would look in that early morning period for more volatility. Just remember, more volatility means more risk though. So be ready for that.
Yeah, we look at the markets a lot during New York Open, and yeah, the volatility can be pretty crazy for the most part. It's like almost most New York Opens can give you a lot of volatility, but like you said, the risk goes up a lot. A lot of times there's like a fake out move before it picks a direction. Usually I like to try to see if I could catch that fake out move and just let that happen and then trade after that first move has happened. But yeah, I would have to agree with that. New York Open will give you that volatility for sure. And then, if you're up late at night and you're feeling a little degenerate, you want to, get out of bed and sneak onto your computer. Oh, no, my computer is out. I think you guys can still hear me. I will ask this next question and then try to fix this camera real quick. But this one comes from Crypto Cowpoke, and he says, do you believe, now this is a pretty extreme. He's challenging himself to make a certain amount of money, and I think this is a pretty hard challenge, but I'm curious to see what you think. Do you believe it's possible for a trader to make 28% profit every day in February? I'm challenging myself with a 28 by 28 challenge, starting with $100 and make 28% for 28 straight days. And at the end, I can make $100,000. Am I crazy? I will put my answer in really quick. Hey, nothing's impossible, but and I think goals should be, bars should be set high for goals. But I think that's gonna be a super hard challenge to accomplish.
Yeah. So I would just chime in that to me, if I was working with traders, I would never tell them to go in with a goal like that. And the reason is because you're going to end up putting extra pressure on yourself, which will then create kind of the situation where you force trades, right? And one of the worst things you can do is force trades because you feel like, oh, I haven't made my 28% today, so let me push a trade here. And that's honestly where things will go wrong and you'll end up losing money. So for me, it's like I go into the day and I say, the market is going to tell me if there's any opportunities. I'm not going to tell the market what I'm going to make. Some days I'll make zero. Some days I'll make $100. Some days I'll make 1,000. Some days 10,000. Some days I'll even lose. But I can't tell the market that. And so if we tell the market that, the market usually gets pissed off and slaps us around a little bit, frankly. That's what happens to me. And so I would just caution against that. Like, again, go into the day with a clean slate and just say, listen, when a trade that is good is there, I always say to my traders that trade stocks with me in the live day trading room, is it when you see it, it should almost jump off the page and slap you in the face. Like, this is such an awesome setup. If you're like scouring and you're like trying to make these setups up, you tend to kind of create things that aren't necessarily there. So just be a little careful with that. I mean, if you can do it, that's awesome. But again, just understand the risks there.
Yeah, and I think you make a really great point because, for us, I like to say, you set your key levels, right? And that's us tossing out our net or our trap. And then you wait for the trade, like you said, to come to you. That's like that's the thing. Even with trading competitions, anytime I struggle in a trading competition, it's just like, I wake up and it's like, I'm looking to get ahead of that next team. And then you're looking for trades that really aren't there. You're trying to take them. It looks like a bull flag. And it's really not, and then you get wrecked. So great, great points. I would 100% agree.
Nice.
All right, let's see. RB Darby is asking. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was the FTX. We can get rid of that one. Let's see. Okay, so this one comes from Sniper's Nightmare, and we did kind of talk about this a little bit. Trading Bitcoin. But he says, what are your top 5 lower cap altcoins that you're accumulating, if any?
So for me, it's, there was, and again, lower market cap just below Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I stick in the basic top 25.
Yeah.
But I loved the risk reward of Solana when it was $8 to $10, even at $12. And what I had said to the traders that I'm with is like, when you're buying it, first of all, you have to manage your position size because it could have gone to zero. But what you have to do is when you go into it, you say, listen, this could go to zero. But if it doesn't and it survives and it does 50,000 transactions every second, better than Ethereum, this could be a 5x, 10x, 20x, 100x scenario. And so again, yes, you're risking $8 or $10 to the downside, but your upside makes that okay, assuming you're only risking what you're willing to lose. And so, there are things like that I think are interesting in the crypto market when it gets to good technology. Now, we've seen Solana go up to $24, wherever it is at this point. So I think that at this point, it's a little bit higher risk because now you could lose 24 versus triple or quadruple. But those type of things I would look for. Aside from that, I'm just really waiting to see how the dust settles when we get out of this bear market. And I want to see what the regulation is, right? So a lot of these coins are going to be classified as securities. What is that going to mean? How is that going to affect their ability to kind of perform? And I want to get that information before I really get in. Ethereum, Bitcoin, I think they'll be fine. The other ones are still kind of a question mark.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. I'm kind of similar. I do have my degenerate low cap plays, but again, it's risk management. I'm not putting, if these, I'm expecting the possibility of these coins going to zero. And funny Solana story for me, I'm pretty candid about this. I have been, slowly DCAing into the market, and Solana was one of those coins that I was looking to accumulate. I know, it's the VC coin. Everybody hates it, but I always say, listen, if I think it's going to pump, if the VCs are going to pump this thing, I'm going to exploit that opportunity. I DCA'd in, and as soon as I finished, FTX happened. And so I'm down pretty bad. I'm down was down probably a little less now, but I was down 75, 80% of my Solana DCA. So I'm going to have to buy a whole lot at these prices to get back positive. But I think that's good advice. For the most part, most of my bigger bags are going into, top 25 coins, mostly Ethereum and Bitcoin. So yeah. Now let's see. I do think that is just about all the questions we have. But yeah, Gareth, thank you so much for coming in. Is there anything else you want to let the Candle Mafia know? Any secret levels, secret patterns you see on the chart? Anything you want to leave us with?
The only thing I would say is, we talk about what new traders and investors should do. Just put 10 minutes aside every day to just learn something new about the charts. After a year, you'll be blown away with how much knowledge you've accumulated. It doesn't take, it's like 6-minute abs, right? Or 7-minute abs. Just do a little a day and it accumulates over time, and you'll become a new type of trader. You'll become a trader that isn't emotional, or at least is less emotional, and you'll be following setups and you'll be trusting the charts a lot more. And I think that's really every investor's dream, is to not be an emotional wreck, not FOMO in, but actually follow discipline and probabilities.
There you go, guys. Well, Gareth, thank you so much for coming on. I mean, we always appreciate it. I know the Candle Mafia literally, they see it on our schedule on our Discord. A week later, they're like, "Oh, guys, we got Gareth coming on in a few days." But listen, man, we really appreciate you coming on. Thank you for spitting that knowledge. So Candle Mafia, now we know we're watching that FTX level. Gareth is looking to flip that level, get that bullish consolidation, but definitely looking for a correction. I am also looking for a correction. Hopefully catch some shorts on the way down and then potentially load up some longs. But hey, let's dump this thing down so we can get those long-term bags. Gareth, let everybody know where they can find you. I know a lot of people watching this probably already follow you, but let the people know what you got going on and where they can find you.
Absolutely. So you can follow me on Twitter at Gareth Soloway. I have the check mark, so there's lots of fakes out there always trying to scam, but just find me and it has my name, my full correct spelling of the name. And then if you're interested in crypto action, I have a service at verifiedinvestingcrypto.com. I put out trade signals, do daily videos, all the good stuff to keep you informed.
Boom. There you go. There you go, Candle Mafia. Gareth Soloway. Gareth, thanks again for coming on. We appreciate you, and we will see you very, very soon. Thanks again, brother.
Thanks so much, Frankie. I appreciate it. Take care.
Take it easy, man. Woo, baby. Oh, baby. What a show, guys. Gareth is, God, man, I love that guy. I wish I had I wish I had someone to talk to here. I mean, usually we have people on in the morning show, and I'm like, I love that guy. TJ's like, yeah, he's awesome. But guys, there is Gareth Soloway. We really do appreciate him coming on. Excuse me while I try to situate myself here with the YouTube chat. But yeah, guys, love having Gareth on. And I was actually really interested to hear what he had to say, because I know he had some lower targets for Bitcoin. So I was curious. I forget who asked the question. Whoever asked him about, do you have a, are you flipping bullish? What makes you flip bullish? I was actually really curious about that question, if he was starting to flip bullish or if he's still expecting more downtime. But now you know, guys. Watch that FTX level. We got 1,385 people in here, guys. We're going for 1,000 likes on the stream. If we do, I don't know what we're going to give away. We're going to give away some hats. We're giving away crypto already. We're going to be giving away some of Ben's new book, Catching Up to Crypto. We're going to be giving it all away. So 1,000 likes. We will spin that wheel 20 times on today's stream. And then you'll probably get like 15 giveaways out of that. So, guys, without further ado, we got that Gareth Alpha. Let's go ahead and jump right into our charts and see if we can see anything that Gareth was talking about. I'm going to try to give you guys my idea of what I think is going to go on short term and I guess medium and long term. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the charts. Let's see. Bada boom, bada boom. Oh, hang on. Tony D, hit me up on Discord. Hey, Tony D. What's up, man? All right. So, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into the charts here. What do we got going on for Bitcoin? Now, coming out to the daily time frame, let's switch back to those Heikin-Ashi candles. Minimize this, and I mean, here we are, guys. The same spot we were yesterday, essentially. Not the most exciting price action the past, today. But hey, what can you expect after this big moonshot here? Now, let's go ahead and hide this TA and start off on the higher time frames. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can see any. Okay, boom. Okay, so taking a look here, guys. Obviously, we do have that daily red dot that did confirm here. You can see it in all of its glory. Tony D, your Discord messages are coming through on stream. Just understand that. That wasn't nothing secret. But anyway. Okay, so we have the red dot confirmed here on Bitcoin, guys. This is, if there's time to cool off, if there's a time to cool off, this is it. Not only, as Gareth was talking about, are we revisiting these highs back from the FTX, right before the FTX collapse? We are right back at these highs, which was a key level that we were looking at to get a strong rejection. I mean, right after we shot through the other key levels that didn't really interact with price at all. This was the next major level we were looking for, a rejection. And when you come down to the 4-hour time frame, it does look like it might be time to cool off here. Now, not only are we coming up against this key level of resistance, which is this local golden pocket, coming in between about 21.5 and about 21.8. This would be a likely place to correct. But not only this, guys, we are also starting to put in multiple bearish divergences on the 4-hour time frame. And typically when this happens up against key resistance, this is typically a good sign to start looking for shorts. But the reason I have not really taken any serious short positions yet is if you look at the money flow, guys. This money flow is thick in the green. This could indicate, and it is starting to come up. If we just zoom in here, it is coming up again here. So this is kind of the one thing that has me a little sketched out. We were talking in the Discord earlier, shout out to Crypto Anon, kind of just saying like that money flow in the 4-hour is one thing that is really making me be pretty careful with the shorts. The one thing that does make me feel a little better is, when I do take that short position, I am hedged on a pretty decent long position. My long, I did get in at about where was it? I believe it was 18. It was like right here, right before this last breakout here. So up about 18% on that. It's on leverage. So we're up like 400 and something percent. Actually, could check right now. I believe I do have it up. I will pull it up in a second. So up about 389% as of right now. Pretty small position, guys, because it was a very risky shot. You guys know I don't like to take longs in the middle of a range. I really would rather take it at support. So this was a very, very small trade. I actually de-risked quite a bit and upped the leverage, actually using leverage as a means of capital preservation, not as a means for gambling. But there you go, 390% or 389% up. So that is still doing good, and I am hedged with that long if I do go short. So if we do if I do wind up going short, you guys will know in the premium Discord, if we wind up taking any positions. But If I do go short, I am going to have stop losses set. And if Bitcoin decides to rip up to our next levels of resistance and get that last push up before we finally come down, I will be hedged with that long. The long will be doing great. I'll get stopped out of the short for a small loss. And that's kind of my plan, going into whenever we're going to get this next move. Now, speaking of the next levels of resistance, where can we be looking for our next levels? Now, if we do get another move to the upside, let me go ahead and pull up our chart right here. I don't know why it's in bar replay mode. Let's go ahead and get out of bar replay mode. And there you go. That's the long. Oh, this is my actual entry. I think it was my entry for the long was 18,279 exactly, but I guess I didn't want to, try to get it exact on here because it was annoying. But I'm just going to get rid of this because we don't need to watch it. But our next levels, guys, and again, I would have to agree with Gareth. I do think there is a much higher chance to come back to the downside, even if we are going to continue up, right? Even if this is going to be a bigger relief rally than originally expected, I do think it's more likely that we come down before we continue up. But this is a very, very key level. Not only is it the local golden pocket, guys, we also do have a value area high in this level. But if we do get another rip to the upside, the next major level I would be watching is between this spider line and this 786 fib level. The 786 comes in at about 23,150 or 23,140. Spider line is coming in at about 20. You could call it 23K, 22.9. But this level right here, essentially, I'll just put a little rectangle here in that general vicinity. This would be the next level I am looking for serious resistance. So if we do wind up getting that second push to the upside, this is where I would be looking for a short position, potentially targeting that area of the breakout if that does occur. So again, I think that's the less, I just smacked the mic into my mouth. I do think that is the less likely case, but we have to be prepared in either direction. I'm getting a phone call from a scammer potentially right now. We do answer scammers, guys, live on the stream, but I'm not going to do it right now because we are neck deep in the TA. Shout out to Tony D for the $2 super chat. He says, just to hype everyone up, Crypto Face is going to be on February 2nd, guys. Super, super excited to have Face on the channel, guys. You guys know, I know a lot of you guys are follow Crypto Face. You guys watch his streams, as I do. Big fan of Crypto Face. So super, super excited to have him on. I know you guys probably have a plethora of questions for him. And any of those crazy questions that I can't answer about Market Cipher, maybe we'll actually find out exactly what creates these green and red dots. But get hyped for that, guys, because it's going to be super, super fun. Hopefully he's in a trade and he can pull it up for us. But anyway, again, if we get that move up, that's going to be that next level of resistance that I would be looking at for a strong rejection. But again, with those higher probability, in my opinion, being a move to the downside, kind of what I would be looking at, guys. You will see this red box. I'm actually going to get rid of this. That's just a CME indicator. But kind of what we're looking at here, guys, is with these bearish divergence, right? Obviously, the money flow on the 4-hour does have me a little shaken. There you go, red dot now printing. I think that just popped up right now on the 4-hour. But with that money flow does have me a little shook to go short. However, if you come down to the lower time frames, money flow is starting to come out on the 2-hour. Your 1-hour, it is starting to come out. Now, it's not the most clear outflow of oh God, Tony, I think they can. Tony, do it again. I don't know if they could see you. I saw that. Maybe do it again. They might be able to see you. You just out here trolling with the Discord messages. I love it. But if you look here, if we grab a trend line and just connect these highs, you can see we are making higher lows on the money flow. So that would, indicate that we could potentially see the money flow continue to the downside. And with the 4-hour bearish divergence, the 2 hours starting to come out, 1-hour money flow is also starting to come out. Working our way down to the lower time frames, you can see it really is starting to show on the 45-minute money flow creep into the downside. 24-minute. crossing over into the red as we speak. So again, guys, you know, very, very strong level, getting those bear divs. There he is. There he is. Hello, is this Frankie Candles? Guys, I'm getting scammed on Discord again. Somebody call the cops. I'm getting scammed on Discord. I'm getting Femex notifications here. Boom, baby. Boom. Shout out to the premium Discord. Gala short might be hitting right now. But continuing on, 30-minute crossover into the red as well. Oh, baby, she's so close. She's so close. And shout out to Jake Deli for saying that. You might be looking at a different exchange. That's why we might not be seeing the same thing. But, yeah, 30-minute money flow. Lower time frames have the money flow starting to get into that red area. So that could indicate that we might get a move down. And we're going to talk about where I think this move can go if we do get it to the downside in just a second. But before we do that, what was I going to do? I don't remember what I was going to do. So let's look at targets to the downside. So, guys, for the most part, that first level I will be watching is going to be about $20,250, basically this white line right here. Now, with that being said, I will say this, guys. You will hear a lot of people talking about the CME gap. People saying we have a CME gap at about 20K, maybe between 19.5 and 20K. If you guys are unfamiliar with what CME gaps are, you might hear a lot of people talking about Maddox dumping. Guys, it might be time to correct here. Dave Digital, Frank giggling like a little girl is homie Tony T. Make my heart smile. Oh, God. Continuing on, if you don't know what a CME gap is, I did record a video explaining exactly what CME gaps were, or what CME gaps are. I think a lot of people probably hear a lot of YouTubers talk about CME gaps. CME gaps, we're going to go fill this gap. Oh, we have to come down first. We have a CME gap. And I just break down what a CME gap is. What does CME even mean or stand for? And then how can we use CME gaps when trading to our advantage? So keep an eye out for that video coming out tomorrow. It will also be the video that you need to like and comment on to win our massive giveaway. If we hit 1,000 likes, we got 1,344 people in here right now. So smash that like button. If we hit 1,000 likes, we're spinning the wheel of pain and pleasure 100 times, 20 times. And, you know, I heard somebody in the chat the other day saying, do you remember when it was the wheel of pain and pleasure? Now it's just the wheel of pleasure. It used to be pleasure for you, pain for me. And if we get 1,000 likes, I'll add pain onto the wheel for tonight. I'll add push-ups or something because God knows I need them. God knows I need them. But jumping right back into the charts, guys, are we going to get rejected here? It does look like we are starting to come down. Money flow coming down those lower time frames is looking like a great, the beginning of indications that we could be coming to the downside. Shout out to Palmetto Nick. Thank you for the super chat. He says, don't sleep on the premium Discord. So much alpha. Shout out to Palmetto. Hey, Palmetto. Are you in a gala trade by chance? Let me know, bro. But yeah, guys, if you want to sign up for the premium Discord, we've been crushing it in there. A lot of good traders. You can click the link in the description down below. The mods will also share the link in the chat if you guys want to check that out. And if you're not ready to shell out money for a premium product, you could get into the free Discord, which is still jam-packed full of that sauce. Don't worry. So you got two options there. Our free Discord is one of the most valuable free trading Discords you could be in. We got a bunch of really good traders in there that you can learn from. I put my TA in there, and it's a really, really good time. Yeah, definitely go check both of those out. And remember the peppers and the crickets. Yes. We used to eat crickets and peppers when I lost on the wheel, guys. We might have to bring it back. But jumping back in here, guys, money flow coming out. It does look like we could continue or could start to get a decent correction here with those divergences. That red dot printing on the 4-hour with money flow crossing into the red on the 15-minute. It might be time to go down, baby. But I'm in a gala short, and it's killing it. Shout out to Crypto Anon. Let's go, baby. Cash out. Hang on, guys. One sec. Before we jump back into the charts. Hello? Oh, Crypto Anon, you left your money at my house? All right, I'll throw it in the mail, bro. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, shout out to Crypto Anon. Congratulations, bro. Pumped that you're crushing that short. But let's go ahead, guys, and jump into the, let's take a look at the DXY, because this could give us a little indication to what is going to be happening with Bitcoin. Now, one thing that we were looking at on the morning stream on the BitBoy Crypto channel is, as you can see, we are potentially going to put in another bullish divergence here on the daily for the DXY, right? Low, higher low, and then you have massively lower lows on your price. So if we get this green dot, this could actually start a little move to the upside for the DXY, which would coincide with a dump on Bitcoin, or at least a correction on Bitcoin. So that is another thing that I am keeping a close eye on. You could see this is somewhat of a bullish candle, and then we are getting somewhat of a doji candle here. So just keeping an eye on that. If the DXY does continue down, you have to understand that if we do get another dump on that DXY, we do have a pretty key level of support here at about 101. At about 101.35. So, even if it does come down and we get another push up on Bitcoin, which again is looking less likely, the more and more that price moves, it would be probably short-lived before we got to bounce off that key level on the DXY. But going back to Bitcoin real quick, guys, just to kind of look at those other levels, because that is not... this level right here, because we talked about those CME gaps and then we just moved on, right? If you look here, not only do we have that $20,255 level, but we also do have a CME gap pretty close to this level. So that would be a decent level to look if you are in a short to maybe take some profits. Now, if we do crack below this level, let's go ahead and look at some lower targets. Go ahead to the 4-hour here and zoom in a bit. So that would be the first area I would be looking, or one area that I'd be looking to take profits if you are in a short. And if you do break that level, you have to understand we do have a little bit of a gap here down to this spider line, which is going to be that next level. I'd look for some support. If we can get moves down here, right? Let's say we correct all the way down here, we bounce around, break this level, hit the spider line, lose the spider line. This is the sauce box, guys. This is the level I would really like to come down to start building up and adding to my long position if we are going to continue to the upside. So if we come down here and we start getting some good support, I will look to add to my long here to potentially get another move to the upside, potentially even higher than we are right now. And then I really start to lose hope once we start losing this blue box here. The bottom of this blue box is coming in at about $18,186. If we lose that level, I will start feeling pretty bearish on Bitcoin because then we will be getting pretty close to retesting. Let's grab our fixed range volume profile to retesting that previous value area high that we had back here when we were kind of just going sideways for what felt like forever. So if price does break these levels, you might bing bong around here a little bit. Looking to add to my long here. That's the first level I'd look to add to my long. This blue box is going to be that second level that I'm looking to add to my long. And if we break that level and we come down and don't get a strong bounce off that value area high, it is likely that we will probably come down to lower prices. So that's basically how I'm feeling, guys. And the reason, this area right here, this is below the value area high, but you could see this massive high volume node. If we could hold this, I believe that would still keep us in bullish market structure technically on the higher time frames. But if we lose that high volume node, I mean, it's likely that we're going to come pretty much or a decent bit lower, potentially even make some lower lows. So just wanted to give you guys those extra levels if we do come down, kind of where I flip bearish. For the most part, if we lose this value area high, I start to worry. And then, once we lose that POC right here, that's pretty bad news. So I'm really hoping that we don't break this $18,211 level. So yeah, but these are some lower levels that may not completely invalidate the bullish sentiment. But I am starting to get worried once we crack that value area high at about $17,266. And I'll just stick with that. All right, let's see. Dave, I can never really find a way to insert myself into these gaps. Oh boy, you guys are talking about gaps in the chat. Call them Gap Chat. Let's go. Gap Chats. New app coming out, guys. It's called the Gap Chat app. I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. Anyway, so that is basically how I'm feeling on Bitcoin, guys. And don't forget, again, that DXY is another thing you can look at to try to get some hints to where we are going to get that correction or dump on Bitcoin, right? So again, if we start getting this move up, I would expect that correction. But if we get another move down, this is going to be a pretty decent area to look for a dump on Bitcoin. And again, that major thing I'm looking at is that green dot on the daily of the DXY giving us another bullish divergence. That last time time that we confirmed this bullish divergence right here, we did get a bit of a move to the upside. If we get a similar move to that, will it bring us, let's see, 2.11%? If we get that from here, you start to get a pretty big, pretty decent bounce if that plays out similarly to how this last one did. So just a couple things to keep an eye on, guys. 1,271 people still in here, guys. Smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Frankie Candles YouTube channel, where we do 2 hours of TA somehow 5 days a week at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single weekday. So yeah, and we're not even done there, right? After we get off the live, we're in the Discords. We basically do TA 24/7. You could find TA content somewhere on this channel or in our Discords at almost any time of the day. So yeah, if you're new, smash that subscribe button, hit that like, and 1,000 likes, we will be spinning that wheel, and I will add pain to the wheel at 1,000 likes. So shout out to Bud Lightyear. What is going on, man? Drew Berry in the chat. Let's go. Shout out to Ben Evans. Shout out to you, bro. G-Man in the chat. I'm my hero. We got Blueku. What is going on? Shout out to Metabytes, Dave Digital Thumbelero, Jessica in the chat, our new CandleMafia female representative. What is going on, Jessica? I hope you're doing well today. Shout out to Creighton C as well. Shout out to Wick. Shout out to, let's see. Shout out to Bitcoin Slayer. Shout out to Jacob. What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Now, guys, let's go ahead and jump into Ethereum, or Ethereum, as your grandmother might call it. Here we go. Kind of same sentiment, guys. Same sentiment. Shout out to Indiana Candles. Indiana Candles, shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for that super chat. He says, am I just wanting to see the ascending wedge pattern? It seems to be holding the pattern. How much weight would you put? How much weight would the pattern have if money flow stays good? So Indiana Candles is definitely talking about, let's pull up this chart here. Go to Heikenashi's, go to a lower time frame. So yeah, he says he is seeing an ascending wedge. So yeah, ascending wedge would be something like this. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bam, right? You could consider this a little deviation from the pattern, and then you came back in, or you can move this down a little bit, depending on how you draw it. It does definitely look like a rising wedge. Now, typically a rising wedge will break to the downside more often than it will break to the upside. I know a lot of people are actually looking at this as an ascending triangle, as a flat level of resistance for the most part. I don't know if I'm really seeing a ascending triangle here. We were looking at it yesterday. You have somewhat of a flat level of resistance, and then you have your higher lows being made up against that resistance, which would technically squeeze to the upside, but it is definitely looking a little more wedgy to me, which would be more bearish. Shout out to Chasnick88. Love the channel. Keep doing you, bro. Shout out to Chasnick. I appreciate you for being here. Welcome to the Candle Mafia. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much, guys. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Dave. AOC. Shout out to you, man. Love you, Frank. Otter Gang. Shout out to Alex. What is going on, Alex? Thank you for being here, bro. G-Man in the chat. Good to see you, G-Man. DJ Moss, or DJ Haas MS. What is going on, bro? Good to see you, too. But continuing on here, again, I do think this could potentially break to the downside. Again, and just think about this, guys. We talk about that red dot with these lower time frames crossing into the red with the money flow very, very often. So that could be, right? We get green dots printing here, so we may get a little retrace before an actual dump here. But that 4-hour red dot with these lower time frames losing money flow is typically a pretty decent indication that we could be getting a move to the downside, and we also have the bearish divergences and the key level of resistance. So again, be very careful. The bears have been getting smacked around. There was something in the Discord. Someone put in a meme. Maybe it was Crypto Anon, and it was like the bulls aren't completely attacking the bears right now, but it's like it was a gif of a guy, like a bear, like coming up to a guy sitting under a tree, and like the bear like touched him with his paw. And the guy turned around and like smacked the bear's paw. So that's like basically I was like the most accurate depiction of price action. It's like the bears are like, hey, can I short? Ow, okay, fine. I won't short yet. Jeez, calm down. So that's basically how it feels. Yeah, there you go. Starting to come down a bit here. So yeah, let's dump it, baby. Let's dump it. But yeah, I mean, just in general right now, still kind of just consolidating here. But again, looking for that move to the downside. Hopefully, if you could do 30 push-ups in a row, no pausing, I will shave my head. If you do 10 or less in a row, you shave yours. I will send you a picture of me shaved if you win live. Bitcoin Slayer. Oh, no. I don't know if I'm ready to take that challenge, bro. I'll be 100% honest with you, bro. I used to work out a lot. I used to go to the gym 7 days a week. I didn't lift 7 days a week, but I went to the gym, no excuses, 7 days a week, even if I just walked or ran on the treadmill. So I used to work out a lot. But since I started this channel, there has simply been no time for health, HELTH. There is been no room for health, right? Just YouTube content and trading and crypto and TA and charts. So I think I could probably do 30. Like I used to be able to do 50 pretty easily. But I don't know if I could take that. I'm going to need some training, but I will take you up on that at some point. I will take you up with that. Maybe tonight. I don't know. We'll see. That's a good proposition though. Shout out to you, Bitcoin Slayer. I appreciate you for being here, man. Don't shave your head, shave your armpits. Okay. That'd be weird. I've never had shaved armpits. Anyway, I'm not a big swimmer, guys. But let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum as we are starting to come down just a bit here. Now, as you guys can see, yesterday we were looking at Ethereum coming up against a very similar key level of resistance here. We have that local golden pocket. And you're getting basically the same thing, right? Money flow in the 4-hour is still a little bit sketched to the upside, but bearish divergences are starting to form here on that 4-hour time frame. And to be 100% honest with you guys, I haven't looked at ETH too much today. 2-hour money flow is kind of flat. 1-hour money flow is technically coming to the downside, but nothing really that convincing. Taking a look at your 30 minutes kind of binging and bonging around. Taking a look at that 15-minute money flow is crossing over into the red. And again, remember you got that 4-hour red dot with those lower time frames starting to come in with your bearish divergence. I mean, listen, I am just saying be careful with the shorts. However, the signals are there, guys. If we were not in such an aggressive parabolic move to the upside, this would be like kind of a no-brainer short position like for a lot of these setups. But just be very careful. This is not financial advice. These are not trade calls. These are not trade calls, guys. But the writing is on the wall here. All right, let's see. No Gala, no XRP. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. We have one for Gala. Let's go. Yeah, guys, put your altcoins in the chat if you want us to take a look at them. Let's see. Frankie needs the gym. Yes, I do need the gym, and I don't mean I need the gym to get big. I need the gym to make my heart work good. It really is. There's one thing in 2023, guys. I'm going to try to start taking a bit better care of my health, which I have done very, very well in the past. Like I said, I used to go to the gym 7 days a week. I would eat no sugar. I meal prep every single day. Like, trust me, I've been down the rabbit hole. I've been obsessed with fitness before. Never thought there would be a time in my life where fitness was not a huge part of it. And then something like this happens, and I'm just like, that's it, laser focus on this. But I do need to be healthy, guys. I can't show up for these streams if I'm not, don't have my health. So I am going to try to drink more water, eat more green stuff, or just eat more in general, and try to unwind a little bit and maybe work out. Maybe 2023 is the year we get huge, guys. Maybe I should just start doing some, juicy juice and get huge. Shout out, and I don't say this guy. Jason Casper, I'm sure, is natural, but Jason Casper, maybe we can try to get to Jason Casper's levels because that dude is yoked out of his mind. That guy is. Jason Casper's jacked, guys. I'm sure you guys know that. Maybe we could ask Jason Casper for some workout advice. Shout out to Jason Casper. But anyway, continuing on here, guys. Ethereum, again, just kind of the same sentiment as yesterday. The writing's on the wall here for a potential move to the downside. Thoughts on Kadena? Shout out to Jules. We can take a look at Kadena in a second. No problem. 4-hour red dot confirmed. 15-minute money flow in the red. Could be time to come down a little bit here for Ethereum. Yes, I know I'm saying that wrong, guys. For anybody new here, I'm saying it wrong on purpose, just so you guys know. Anyway, but yeah, kind of the same idea here. Now, this is going to be, let's take a look at some of these levels here because we do have some important levels that you want to hold in order to, not just completely nuke to the downside. So, kind of just taking a look here, come to these highs here, pull that little range here. Now, I will say this, guys. If we start to lose where we've found support in the recent past here at about $1,500, I almost said 15,000. At about 15, you can see we got support. If we wind up, obviously first likely step to the downside would, most likely be this level at about 15.15. However, if we lose this level, guys, if we lose this level, you can see that we do have a bit of a volume fall off, right? You could even argue once you lose that high volume node, but more likely if we lose this $1,500 level, I mean, I would say $1,500 even. You do have a little support in about $1,480, and then you get another little spike at about $1,460, $1,450. But for the most part, you have a giant volume gap here. So if you lose this level, things could start coming to the downside pretty quickly. And then that next high volume node is going to be right here coming in at about 1325. So not saying we're about to head down immediately to 1325, but if we lose this level of support, we will likely fall into that low volume gap, and the next decent level of support doesn't come in until about 1380. If we go ahead and pull some fib levels, you could see right here, boom, that $1,420 level and that $1,380 level do line up perfectly with a golden pocket and a 786 fib level. So these are the levels I would be looking at to the downside. Again, if we lose this, probably going to be a quick move to the golden pocket and potentially 786. If we lose that level, probably going to be a quick move back to this value area high at about 1325. So that is basically what I'm looking at on Ethereum, guys. Very, very similar to Bitcoin. Again, lower time frames are looking similar as well, as we are starting to get a little bit of a dump here. As we are starting to get a little bit of a dump to the downside here with money flow coming out on those lower time frames. Your 30-minute is looking to cross over into the red as well with that money flow. Your 6 and your 8 hour is looking, or your 6 hour a little bit here. With that being said, guys, let's go ahead and check. Oh, no, we're frozen. We're frozen. No way. No way. Oh, no. Oh, no. We're back. We're back, boys. We're back. I'm going to keep rocking. I'm going to keep rocking, guys. I think we're good. I think it was a slight hiccup. A slight hiccup, guys. All right. Let's continue on here. 1,245 people in chat, guys. Let's run it up to 1,500 likes. I think we can get 1,500. Where's finding UFO? If I just froze if I just froze on your end, hit that like button, because the more likes we get, the more stable the internet connection will be. I don't know if you guys saw that article released by that really popular technology magazine, and then they're saying that the like button can indeed help support your Wi-Fi connection on a live stream, on a YouTube live stream, specifically in the crypto space. So smash that like button if you want to not freeze the stream. All right, let's go. Going for 1,500 likes, guys. Let's get it. I think we can do it. He found it. The UFO. Let's go. All right, here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at our first altcoin, which, according to Rob the Crypto Snob, is going to be Crypto Frankie, no! Don't spam. Drives Anon crazy, but luckily he's in a good mood today and warned you. Shout out to Crypto Anon. Shout out to Crypto Billy, who made a trip to the Hit Network studios to drop off a bunch of Ben's books so we could get them signed by BitBoy himself. And I missed him this morning, guys. I felt so bad. I really wanted to take you out to lunch, Billy. But hey, next time, me, you, and Tony D will go to lunch next time you stop by. Crypto Billy doesn't live too far away from our studio. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of these altcoins. The alts are going to be ADA, starting off strong with ADA, guys. Looking very, looking a little bing-bongy, if I have to say so myself. Now, we do have a confirmed... bullish. Bearish divergence here on your 4 hour, as you can see, up against that key level of resistance. And that would have essentially, been your signal right here to potentially enter a short position. You would have went for a little bit of a ride, but now you may actually wind up getting it to play out. Now, that was confirmed a while back. That was confirmed on the 14th of January. I believe it was a Saturday. Yes, it was. But we are kind of just continue to consolidate since that bearish divergence. Are we going to get the fallout here? Now, you do have money flow starting to curve to the downside. Red dot is confirmed. You do have right below you, if we lose this level of support, we do have a low volume gap, or somewhat of a low volume gap here. Nothing too aggressive, but if we lose this level of support and fall through that volume gap, your next, it might be a quick little 3 to 4% drop through that low volume gap. And yeah, you could see it right there. And then you do have your, let me go ahead and turn off the value area high, the value area low, and the POC of this, just so we could see a little bit better. The next level of, your next major level of volume here is going to be at about 31.5 cents, right down here where we were kind of consolidating before getting that bullish breakout to the upside. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and pull some local golden pockets. You can see, depending on where you pull this to, but you do have your local golden pocket kind of supporting that high volume node right there. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this as a box and say that this is going to be a decent spot to be looking for some support if we break this level and come into this low volume gap and lose all of these other levels. Now, you do have some support coming in at about 33 cents. And then you have a little more at 32.5, but eventually you will make it down to this high volume node, essentially coming back to test this previous area of consolidation. So if we do get that move to the downside, a little bing, a little bong, drop through that low volume gap, could come down to that high volume node at about 31.5 cents, and that would kind of be that level I'd look at for a potential long position if we are going to get this rally to continue to the upside. Obviously, you're not blindly entering longs at that level. It's not that easy. You have to wait for bullish confirmations. You have to see what the charts are telling you at that level. If you're getting those bullish confirmations, that's where you can get that move back to the upside. So there you go. There is Cardano. Money flow coming out on your 4-hour. Your 2-hour money flow is also generally coming out. If we grab our trend line here, you can see, connect the highs of the money flow, and you can see not too aggressively, but it is coming to the downside, making those higher lows on your money flow. And then again, money flow is looking very, very, very similar to a lot of this other stuff on the lower time frames. So let's go ahead and continue on here. That was Cardano. Now let's go ahead and pull up Gala, which is starting to play out here. Let's go ahead to that 4-hour time frame and take a look at what we got going on. Ada, shout out to Harry Nugs. What is going on, man? I sent it. Did you not see it at Rob? Oh, H-bar Gala. Let's get it. LFG Schaefer troll roll. Let's go. Shout out to Jonathan Schaefer. What does he got going on? Wait, hang on. We got to go back and check what Jonathan is saying. I don't know. Where is he? Where is he? I don't see him. Where is he? Jonathan and at Dave Digital, hold the troll roll. I don't know what's going on in chat right now. So can we finally short this hockey stick? Yeah, let's go. Shout out to, can we short this hockey stick? Let's go. You're funny, bro. Shout out to Chemistry, bro. Just came on. What did I miss? Graziano in the chat. You missed Garrett Soloway, but that's okay, Graziano. We're going to continue on here. You're here so we can continue to look at the alts. Shout out to Graziano. I thought you said... Shout out to Mark S. I see you, bro. Okay. Here we go, guys. Taking a look at Gala. Now, looking at Gala, you can see that you're... Same setup here, guys. Same setup. Waiting for those key levels, looking for your momentum to fall off, looking for your price to continue to rise, giving you that discrepancy between your price action and your momentum, showing that price is pushing higher, but momentum's kind of like, falling off, warranting a correction to the downside. That is a bearish divergence, and we are starting to get one again at this very key level of resistance, very similar to a lot of the other coins we just looked at. And if we come down to the end, your 4-hour is actually starting to come out with the money flow here, so that would not only do you have that bearish divergence on the 4-hour, but we also have money flow coming out, which give you a little bit of extra confidence that this thing could be getting a move to the downside. Let's see. And then coming down to the 2-hour, you can see money flow kind of coming out pretty a bit more aggressively on the 2-hour, coming down to those lower time frames, deep in the red on your 12-minute. That 15-minute is starting to cross over into the red. So I'd be looking for potential retests here before getting an actual move. 4-hour red dot is printing with that 15-minute money flow. 12-minute money flow, very interesting to look at here. 1-hour money flow is now in the red as well. So maybe time to cool off here just a little bit for Gala. Now, taking a look here at this range, you can see we are out of the value area of this little kind of somewhat of a range / trend that we've been trading in here. So if we do, this is kind of the levels I would watch. If we break below the value area high, bearishly retest, we could see a fall through this somewhat of a low volume gap to revisit. And just due to the laws of the volume profile, it would be likely for us to get a move back down to that point of control right here, coming in at about 0.04185 cents. So that would, if you do get, if you are shorting Gala right now, shout out to the premium Discord. If you are in a short for Gala, if you did get it at the top, depending on where you got in, that's an 11% move to that value area high. So obviously, guys, on these live streams, just in general, when I'm talking about take profits and stop losses, it's heavily dependent on where you got into your trade individually. So, if you got in at the top of this move here, and you were looking and you were like, oh, hey, whatever, you got your confirmations and you looked to short. I'm not saying it's a good time to short, but that value area high is coming in at an 11% drop. So that would be, although it seemed very close, that would be a decent place to lock in some profits, potentially drop your stop loss to your entry, and then, just see if this thing can give you some more gains. But for the most part, if we do get below this value area high and bearishly retest, could fall down not only to that POC, because that is basically how the volume profiles work, but also because you have this little gap in volume. And then if you do wind up losing the POC and bearishly retesting, I'd look to come back down to about 0.03645 cents, which is the value area low of this range. So those are kind of the levels that I would be watching to the downside. And then, if we could find a little bit of confluence with this volume profile, we can go ahead and zoom out a little bit here and pull some local golden pockets. So if we pull it, from these lows all the way to your high up here, that value area low does come in pretty quick, or pretty close, pretty close to that golden pocket and that value area low. Pretty close there. So these are basically the major levels I'd be looking at. If we get that move all the way down on Gala to bing bong to the POC, break the POC, and come down to that value area low, this is where I would be looking for bullish confirmations to potentially enter a long position if things are still looking good. If you lose those levels, next level I would be looking at is going to be this level down here where we have that 786 and another golden pocket. So these are some levels to be looking for on Gala, guys, but again, does look like we could potentially be setting up for a move to the downside. So keep an eye on that. Let's see. William Corey says, Frank, I've got high hopes for Gala the next bull run. I'll say this, Gala as a project, I know they have a lot of games in development. I also know they have actual playable games that you can play right now, and I know that because I've seen them with my own eyes. A lot of these gaming companies, I talk about this a lot, guys, a lot of these gaming projects will show these crazy games, these crazy game trailers that look like Halo, and it's really just a 3D rendering. It's not an actual video of gameplay. So basically, they spend all their money on these crazy 3D renderings or these 3D gameplay trailers, and there's really nothing in actual development. They're putting the carriage before the horse, but in the case of Gala Games, it is not the case. They have a lot of games in development. They have games that are already playable, so at least they're doing something there. So I do think Gala could be somewhat of a decent play in the next bull run. I will be accumulating it. Not financial advice. Obviously, do your own research. But I would agree. I have some high hopes for Gala, too. I think Gala could do pretty well, in my own personal opinion. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at H-Bar on the list. Shout out to Rob. Thank you so much for hooking us up here, Rob. And guys, don't forget, if you want to learn about CME gaps, check out the video that will be uploaded tomorrow around 3 p.m. We're going to talk about what CME gaps are, how they're created, why they're created, and how you can use them in your trading plan. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the Binance chart. Let's see it. Similar play here. Similar play here, guys. Coming up, making those higher highs with momentum coming out. Now H-bar is showing something a little bit different. You do have that confirmed green dot on the 4-hour, and you do not have the red dot just yet. But I would be keeping a close eye. Money flow still looking a little bit sketchy. Remember, on Gala, that 4-hour money flow doesn't look as saucy as it does on H-bar and Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, H-bar, this money flow is thick. It's that thick. You know what I'm saying? Dump Harry Nugs wanted to. Harry Nugs wants it to dump. Let's go. What's going on with... Shout out to Jules. I feel like the mods are in like an absolute battle with Jules. Jules, I see you. Don't worry. If we want Jason, we will take a look at KDA. Don't you worry. All right, let's see. Let's continue on. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. I'm more bullish on Gala now since they announced their own chain, and Gala will be the gas token for their chain. In-game tokens. Because their high supply and inflation rate was a problem. Yeah, that was the one caveat I did have with Gala. I don't think the tokenomics are the best, but I do, as a project, I am bullish on Gala. But shout out to Chemistry Bro, always dropping knowledge, bro. I appreciate you, man. All right, let's go ahead and continue on with HBAR. Again, very, very similar setup here. You are getting those higher highs. Clearly, and generally your momentum is, coming out to the downside, right? But you are printing that green dot, so you may continue to push up here. And do we have an H-bar chart here? We do not. Okay. But let's go ahead and get a little bit of a fib pull here, right? Coming up to test that local golden pocket. Very, very similar to a lot of this other stuff. One thing I will be cautious about on H-bar, guys, is we are kind of in this gap. So I would be cautious. Just because the 4-hour money flow on H-bar isn't looking as bearish as it is on some of the other stuff. I would be cautious of a second push to the upside to finish out this gap and potentially test these levels here at about 0.057 cents and potentially even push up towards this 786 in the 6 cent region, right? So unless, we could potentially just kind of consolidate like we did on Bitcoin before losing this level to the downside, or we could see that 4-hour green dot play out, which I do think may be the less likely situation. But the way that money flow looks on the 4-hour does look kind of saucy. So definitely would be cautious of a second push up into these levels before a move to the downside. But checking these lower time frames, your money flow is coming out on your 12-minute, and it is coming out generally on your 15-minute. So those lower time frames do, 30-minute is also coming out for the most part. So this may bleed into the higher time frames. Your 1 hour starting to come out as well. It may bleed into these higher time frames, and we may start seeing money flow come out, and we may get that correction that we were looking for on H-bar. Now, if we do come down, some key levels I would be looking at is going to be right here, this high volume node. I'm actually going to pull some volume as well. I'll pull it from here to here. And you could see that point of control coming in right by this high volume node, coming in right here at about 0.048 cents. So if we do wind up losing these highs, could get a move down to that value area high, get a little bit of a bounce, lose it. If we come back into the value area, it's going to be very likely that you revisit this point of control at about 0.048 cents. And if you were to catch a position, this is not a trade call. I am not saying it is time to short this thing right now. But if you were to get another 4-hour red dot with money flow coming out and you get your bearish confirmations, you could be looking for a short position. If you did get into a short position, you can look to potentially start locking in profits at that value area high and then start looking for a move down to that POC, which would be about a 10% move from this level that we're at right now, which could be pretty decent, especially if you're using leverage. And then if you lose that POC, you could wind up falling through this next little gap that you have and start working your way down to that 0.044 cent region eventually. Potentially revisiting the lows of the range, coming in at about 0.042 cents. So that is what I would look for on H-bar, guys. Again, this is not a short signal. This is just letting you know if you were to get your confirmations and find a good entry up here for a short, these would be the levels I would be looking to take some profit, right? A little bit right here at the value area high, a little bit right here at the POC, and a little bit right here at the value area low, right? Because think about it this way. If you do wind up coming down here and you take some profits off the table at that value area high, maybe that's where you move your stop loss to your entry. And, then if price winds up coming down, you have a locked in guaranteed winning of a trade. Maybe you bing bong around here a little bit. If you move to the POC, you get a little extra profit. Maybe you want to take some more off the table. But either way, anytime this thing wants to go back to the upside and stop you out, you'll get stopped out at a profit. So there you go, guys. There is H-bar. Smash Don't lick the likes, says Jessica. Guys, we are at 807 likes, creeping up towards that 1,500 like level. If we get 1,500 likes, I'll spin the wheel 25 times. If we get let me say that again. If we get 1,500 likes, I will spin the wheel 100 times. If we get 1,000 likes, I will spin the wheel 20 times, giving you guys infinite giveaways on Friday. Let's go. Got it. Thanks, Frankie, bro. Shout out to Harry Nugs. Anytime, bro. Smash that like button. Jules said it, not me. So you got to listen to Jules. Shout out to Algo and shout out to Jules because right after Algo, we are going to be taking a look at Cadena. So here we are on Algo. Let's see. Is this an old chart, a new chart? I guess it's semi-new. Let's see. Okay, so this is yesterday. This was kind of, okay, so I'm going to try to decode what I was looking at yesterday. It might be right. It might be wrong. Shout out to the Aztecian Cactus Moss Water. Guys, our official Aztecian Cactus Moss Water is now sponsored by Apex Legends, which is super dope. Big brand deal for my first natural, healthy energy drink sponsorship, or a good sponsorship for my energy drink company, Aztecian Cactus Moss Water. As you guys know, this is my own energy drink that's 100% healthy and natural and definitely not Monster. Now sponsored by Apex. Shout out to Wolfman Ate My Coins. Show some respect for the Don and hit that like. Shout out to Wolfman Ate My Coins. Somebody show some respect to Wolfman Ate My Coins and smash that like button. The man asked for it. Give the man what he asked for. Let's go. All right. Frank is our FA. Let's go. Shout out to Beardpreneur. What is going on, bro? Let's see. Let's send it. Matic. I will add Matic personally because I want to take a look at Matic as well. But Algo and Cadena are going to be next, and then we'll finish off with Matic. But kind of what we were talking about yesterday was looking for a potential second push to the upside where we would get a higher high on price, looking for a potential another lower high on our momentum waves, giving us that bearish divergence. However, we did not get that, right? We actually got something of what I call a VWAP flip or a VWAP flop where, you get that green dot to the upside and then immediately flip back to the downside, printing that red dot immediately after the green one, and we are starting to get a move to the downside. So that second push-up did not happen, so I'm going to get rid of these lines. However, we do have, again, bearish divergence on the 4-hour into key resistance, right? So obviously going to be a decent move to the downside off of that, and we could continue lower with that second red dot confirmed. And not only that, guys, you do have your money flow starting to come out on that 4-hour. Your 2-hour money flow is starting to come out as well. 2-hour confirmed red, confirmed blood diamond as well, probably going to assist with that move to the downside. And if we come lower and lower, that 30-minute money flow is crossing over into the red. Your 6-hour, no red dot on your 6-hour, no red dot on your 8-hour. But money flow is starting to come out. That 1-hour is starting to come out with the money flow. So looks like it could be time to cool off for Algo as well. Not too shocking here, guys. Not too shocking. But yeah, things remain the same for, I almost said Cadena, for Algo for the most part. Just taking a look here at our profile. If we lose this level, could be headed down to that golden pocket at about 21 cents or about 0.2176 cents. If we lose that level, likely going to, we could potentially start working our way. Let's come to the 4-hour, get a little bit of a better view. If we lose that golden pocket, could work our way all the way down to that value area low, coming in at about 18 cents. However, you could see by your volume and the choppy ride that we had up on Algo right here, you could kind of see we bing-bonged our way all the way up. We didn't really get that aggressive straight line. We kind of just wiggled our way up. So you are going to get a decent bit of support on the way down. But really just looking at the volume profile, you could see here we have a value area high right here, our POC right here. And, as long as we remain under that POC and can't break above it, we could wind up start working our way back down towards that value area low. So there's Algo again with the money flow coming out and the 4-hour, 5-hour looking like they are wanting to roll over to the downside. We could see either continued consolidation, guys, or I would say continued consolidation / bearish sentiment for today or tonight. Pulling up the BitLab market, the BitLab trading stack here, you could see we are getting unshaded waves on the significant movements indicator, showing us that we could kind of continue to consolidate here. That 2 hour giving a little bit of a bottom signal, but that 3 hour and that 4 hour are showing unshaded waves. One thing I will point out is we are getting a bear signal here on the hidden volume, and these typically work out pretty well. If you back test them, you will see this is, I'm going to have to remove all this stuff, but anyone using the BitLab trading stack, I would go back, and I highly recommend you guys go check out these little bear signals here and just kind of back test them, see how they play out. But with these unshaded waves on the significant movements, could indicate either sideways or bearish action. So there's algo, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at Cadena. I don't know why Cadena is so fun to say. I just always want to say it like Cadena. I don't know why. Shout out to Jules. And then shout out to Jonathan Schaefer, said, I was just looking at the 1 minute chart by accident, thinking it was the 5 minute and thinking like WTF is with these candles, LMFAO. Shout out to Jonathan Schaefer. Hey, Joshua El Masari, what is going on, man? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. But now let's go take a look at Cadena. Anyway, I don't know why I'm like this, guys. I really don't. But hey, you are the way you are. Okay. I don't know why I just went back to Bitcoin. Taking a look at Cadena. Going to get clean up the chart a little bit here. We don't look at Cadena very often, so let's go ahead and take our first look in a while. Pulling our local golden pockets, we got nothing. I bet you if we pull it to this little wick right here, we'll get a perfect tap. There you go. Right to that wick. Do have a local golden pocket. However, we do have that 786 up here that we do have to be aware of. Pulling up that VPVR. Do have the gap, right? This is the thing, right? A lot of these coins, some of these altcoins never broke into the gap from that big dump that we had in November. So please understand, granted, that 4 hour is putting in bearish divergence into that key level of resistance with a red dot confirmed on your 4 hour time frame, and you indeed do have money flow starting to come out on those lower time frames. However, one thing I would be cautious about on Cadena, again, definitely looking like it could be ready to correct here. One thing I would be cautious of is the fact that we are tapping on the door to this gap right here, right? And that gap could eventually wind up leading you to about $1.31. Bada boom. I'll put a level there. Likely going to be the point of control of this little previous range that we traded in before that dump in November. And it's not quite your POC, but it is close to it. But yeah, I would be very, very cautious of potentially breaking into this low volume gap. However, it is, you might, if you flip this to support, you would likely get a pretty quick move, at least to the 786, if not up to this high volume node to at about $1.30. So I would be cautious of that. However, when looking at the indicators, let's see what BitLab has to say about it. Yeah, just kind of showing unshaded waves here, looking for some consolidation. I would say taking a look at that 2 hour money flow, still kind of flat, not really coming out aggressively just yet. 1 hour money flow is coming out though. So yeah, it does look like it's looking similar to a lot of other things, like it wants to cool off potentially. But I would just be careful, because if it does wind up popping to the upside, you do have that empty space above you that you might fly through. 15-minute crossing over into the red. 24-minute looking for a crossover. 30-minute also looking to potentially cross over pretty soon. And then also watching that 6 hour. Yeah, you do have that 6 hour bear div printing right now. So if that 6 hour confirms that red dot, I would look for the 24-minute and that 30-minute money flow crossover into the red for a decent move to the downside. If you do get that decent move to the downside, some levels I would be looking at is if we pull it, just pull it over this whole range right here. I would look down to the value area high right here for some support. Bada boom. Right here for some support. So these are the levels I would be looking at for some support to the downside. And if you go ahead and pull some local golden pockets, yeah, I would go ahead and I would watch for the most part. Next stop, if we do get a big move down, would be about $1.03, almost $1.04. which would give you a decent move down of about 6%. Definitely a tradable move, especially if you're using leverage. So there is Cadena. There's a little bit of sauce on Cadena. Shout out to Jules and everybody else that was shout out to everybody else who was looking for Cadena. Shout out to William, says, Frankie, looks like the whole market is cooling off. Yeah, for the most part, it does look, everything does basically look very, very similar. With the exception of H-bar, with that money flow on the 4-hour on H-bar, I would be very, very careful with, because that is still thick in the green. Doesn't mean it can't cool off, though. Let's see. All right, and last but not least, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at Matic. Let's just go ahead and check what we got going on. Do we have TA? We have TA on one of these. I got to get rid of some of these. Yeah, guys, shout out to the signature Frankie Candles hand-drawn bull pennant predictions. We just sometimes draw these little bull pennants, and sometimes they play out with the perfect retest. I think we were looking at this yesterday. But let's go. It's the thick fib, baby. Got to watch out for those thick fibs. But yeah, taking a look at Matic here, guys. Let's go ahead and dig in. Looking at the VPVR, let me take off that value area high, value area low, and let's dig in here. Taking a look at your daily red dot is confirmed. Money flow still in the green. Taking a look at our 4-hour, looking very similar to a lot of other things. I'm not going to dig too deep into the indicator side of this, but momentum generally coming down. Money flow starting to curve to the downside. On your 2-hour, you do officially have that confirmed blood diamond on Matic for the 2-hour. Taking a look at your 1-hour, money flow is generally coming out. 30-minute, money flow crossing over into the red. It is looking like money flow is finally coming out, guys, here. So if we do cool off here, let me give you some levels on Matic to watch. Excuse me. Coming to the 4-hour, taking a look here. Let's go ahead and pull some fibs. Where was this? Yeah, I would go ahead and pull the fib from here to here. And let's go ahead and zoom in a bit. So if we do wind up losing, losing these current levels that we're at right now, guys, I would watch out for the loss of this support. Now, we do have the golden pocket here. However, we do have this low volume gap. So if we lose this level and this golden pocket does not hold, we'll likely start moving down to this area of high volume at about 91 cents. If we lose that level, probably coming down to the 88-cent level and potentially all the way back down to where this bull flag or bull pennant originally broke out at about 85 cents. So these are some levels I would be looking at, guys. Let me go ahead and pull just some of this volume here. This is a little bit of a janky volume pull, to be honest with you. But yeah, I would, I'm actually going to pull a different fib. Let's pull the fib all the way. Yeah, if you pull the fib from that low to that high, you do get a decent bit of confluence between that value area high, the high volume node, and that golden pocket. So again, if you do get a move down, I'd look for some support at the 96-cent level, then looking down to the golden pocket at about 90 cents, then looking down to the 786 at about 88 cents, 87 cents, and then eventually potentially coming back to the breakout area of this bull pennant at about 85 cents. And if you lose that, potentially could come down to your POC coming in at about 80 cents. Shout out to Damon Carney. I appreciate you. What is the average drawdown we should expect for most altcoins? I mean, that is going to be a pretty hard thing to call there. Damon, I do appreciate the super chat. I appreciate the question. That is a good question. It really depends, right? If we get pulled back all the way to this breakout here, that's going to be a 14% move, right? But it really depends. It is really hard to predict that. It honestly depends on the coin. It depends on how much Bitcoin comes down, right? If Bitcoin gets a massive dump, that number's obviously going to be higher. So I guess the answer to that question is really there's no way to tell. What you can do is find the levels of support on the way down, and if you get into a trade, let's say you wanted to short this from here, not saying it's a good idea, I'm just saying if you were in a short here, you could kind of get an idea. Like what this level, if I took profit out here, I'd be 2.7% in profit. If that's not enough for you, you might want to you might want to wait for the next significant level, which would be down here near about 91 cents. At that point, you're 8% in profit. Might be time to lock in partial profits. You don't always have to close your whole trade. You really don't. You could just close out a percentage of your gains, right? Take 20% out, take 30% out, whatever your risk tolerance allows. And then, maybe you take 20% out here, or maybe you take 20% out here, 20% out here, 20% out here, and then, so on and so forth as you work your way down. So kind of hard to put a number on it, but shout out to Damon. I do appreciate that super chat. And with that being said, guys, we still have 867 people in here. We got 867 likes. On the count of 3, on the word like, guys, smash that like button. Let's get it up to 1,000 so we can spin this wheel 20 times. And we will also add some cool stuff to the giveaway. I don't know what it is. Tony D mentioned something about giving away something in Discord, doing a Discord giveaway if we hit 1,000 likes. So 3, 2, 1, like that stream, guys. Like this stream right now. Get it up to 1,000 likes so we can give you guys some more free stuff. And hopefully we can get Bitcoin to dump and get these shorts to pay out. And with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and pull up our wheel of pain and pleasure, which I don't have to add pain to just yet because we have not hit our like goal of 1,000 likes. We had 1,400 people in here, only 888 likes. We could easily get to 1,000. I believe in the Candle Mafia. Let's go ahead and do it. Do it. Smash the like when he says. Shout out to Jonathan Schaefer. There we go. Creeping up towards that 900. Should I do it like we're running an auction? Do I have 915? Do I have 915? We got 910 likes, 910 likes, 911 likes, 911 likes, 911 likes. Can I get 920? 920, 920, 920. Do I hear 920? Do I hear 920 on the likes? Do I hear 920 on the likes? 912, 912, 920 going once, 920 going twice, 920 going thrice. Last offer. Do I hear 920? Do I hear 920? Do I hear 9? We got 916, 916, 916, 19. But I got get me get 920. Can we get 920? Can we get 920? 916 sold to the guy who wanted it for 916. So close. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead. I will give you there we go. Sold to the guy in the blue shirt. Shout out to Jonathan Schaefer. You got the like button for 920. But let's go ahead and spin this wheel. If we hit 1,000 likes before we're done spinning, we have 9 spins. If we get to 1,000 before we finish spinning the wheel, I will spin it the extra times. So let's go ahead. I got to spin this before you guys rack it up to 1,000. Let's go. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to Crypto Anon. Shout out to Mark S. So close. Shout out to Vladimir. Shout out to Solo Spring. What's the name of the indicator you use? Volume bars on the side of the chart. Well, that is actually called the visible range volume profile. You will need a paid version of TradingView to access this. However, you can use this volume tool, which is the same exact thing, but you select the candles you want to analyze, where with the visible range volume profile, it automatically analyzes the candles that are visible on the chart. You'll see the volume moves. If I zoom in to just look at these candles, the volume will recalculate, and then this tool, you just select the range manually. So this is free. This is for, you need a paid version of TradingView for, but this is totally free, and they work in the same exact way. So there you go. Anyway, started off with a little bit of a rug pull. 938 likes. Let's run it up. Do I hear 940? 940. Do I hear 940? Got 938. Do I hear 940? 940. 941. 941. 941. 938. Let's go. Run out of breath here. Give him a giveaway, baby. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. There we go. Oh, boom. There we go. Rob is on point with those links. Let's go. What banks are people in the UK using for exchanges? I don't know. VPVR, volume profile, visible range. Let's go, William Carey. Blue shirt guy. Hey, Jonathan Schaefer. Let's go. Jonathan Schaefer is now blue shirt guy. 942. 942. Do I hear 950? Do I hear 950? Is a great deal on the like button. The like button is slightly used, slightly smashed, and slightly creepily fondled, but it is still a good like button, guys. It is better than ever, refurbished and ready for some more finger action. Or finger liking action. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and nip that one in the butt. Sometimes I word things weirdly, and sometimes the Candle Mafia takes it and runs with it in chat, and I really just meant it in an innocent way. I'm an innocent guy. 945, guys. Let's go. 55 likes. 55 likes. Do I hear 1,000? 1,000 on the like button. I think we could do it. If we do a mass liking before we finish this wheel, I think we can hit it all at once. If you have not hit that like button, guys, go ahead and put your finger over that like button. Shout out to Shout out to the Grease says we not getting 1K. Sad face. And guys, just read Crypto Anon's chat. Just go touch the like button, guys. Show the like button some love. He says we're not getting the likes. Don't think we have enough people. I think we do. We got 773 people, guys. If you grab that finger, maybe 2 fingers, 3 fingers, the whole hand, the whole head, maybe throw the tongue in there, lick that like button. I don't know what you do to it. I don't ask questions about it. I don't care what you do with the like button as long as it gets pressed. That's all we're doing. So grab that finger, grab that tongue, that elbow, that head, whatever you're touching the like button with, get it ready, hover it over that like button, and on 3, we smash that like button. 1, 2, 3, mass smash the like button. Let's see if this thing will glitch up to 1,000 now. We only need a few more people to do it, and we only had 7 spins. We still have a couple more spins left. Hey, shout out to the Grease. I liked. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. J-Lo says the amount of sauce that was served. Come on, y'all. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, Frankie. Hey, that's why. Shout out to Dave Digital. Hey, Frankie Fingers. They don't call me Frankie Fingers for nothing. It's not because I slip onto that 100x long button. It's because I smash that like button constantly, guys. 971. We're on our last spin. Guys, go ahead and smash that like button. We will be giving away some hats. We will be giving away some crypto. We will be giving away some books and maybe doing some Discord giveaways if we hit 1,000. I don't know if we'll do it. That is it. Time is up. We cannot smash that like button anymore. Actually, I'll give you one more spin for good luck as we creep up towards that 1,000 like level. One more spin. I don't know if we'll do it. Shout out to West Elm. Shout out to La Casa del Real Madrid. Shout out to them. Shout out to the giveaway. What do we got here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 giveaways out of 10. That is one of the lowest hit rates we've ever gotten on that wheel. Maybe because of the likes. We're just so shy, super close, just shy of 1,000. Let's see. 974. Do not lick. Jessica does not want you guys licking the like button. Sorry, Jessica. I didn't mean to send them with their tongues out like that. J-Lo says do another alt. We'll hit 1,000 likes. I'm shorting the likes. Pop E22 is shorting the likes. We got rugged. 981. Girls got merch. Let's go. Hey, come on. I wake up at 4 a.m. here. Get it to 1,000. Shout out to Bombski for waking up at the crack of dawn to see the Frankie Candles live stream. I do appreciate you, my man. I really do, guys. And don't forget, guys, if you enjoyed the live stream, if you want to trade with the Candle Mafia and you want a long and short Bitcoin or your favorite altcoins, don't forget to check out BitGet. Down below, click that link in the description, and you will help support the channel if you got value from here. You will save money using BitGet if you use our link. They do have 0 spot fees, and I think we do have an additional deal with some potential bonus funds, but don't quote me on that. But you will save. BitGet has 0 fees on all spot pairs, and if you want to trade with us and you want to support the channel and help us keep this light on, go ahead and use that link in the description down below so you can be in these trades that we've been taking. And shout out to the Candle Mafia. I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in. You guys are not just a number to me. You guys are this YouTube channel. I am just the guy on camera. And with all that being said, thank y'all for tuning in. I love all y'all. Just my Southern's kicking in now. I live in ATL now, guys. I use the word y'all. I'm picking it up. I'm picking it up, guys. I'm just kidding. Get out of here. Palmetto Nick says, I'm holding my breath. So close to 1,000 likes. I'm low-key milking it till we get 1,000 likes, guys. I really want to get you guys these giveaways. Do TA on tap. I'll get you 100 likes. Oh, God, get smart. Very hard to do TA on tap. It's going absolutely parabolic, so I'll just let you know there. Otherwise, I would, but it's pretty hard to do. A lot of people FOMOing into it. It's getting pumped up on a lot of people are pumping it. So close. Well, guys, with all that being said, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. Thank you to each and every single one of you guys. I will see you same place, same time tomorrow night at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 1K, baby. Let's go. Let's go. And you know what? We didn't throw any money today. Shout out to Garrett Soloway, guys. Go show Garrett some love and smash that like button on your way out if you enjoyed the alpha that he brought to the channel. Shout out to 1,000 likes, guys. We will still, all that money just came down in the same clump. It didn't even separate. Shout out to the Candle Mafia, guys. We will be doing those giveaways. I will give you guys, we'll add those 10 spins. The extra 10 spins to the wheel tomorrow. We don't have time today to do it, but we will add those spins. Thank you so much for 1,000 likes. I'll give you the 10 spins. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after ATB. Go sub to their new channel, and that's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Hasta pasta. I don't know. I kind of rushed that outro. See you later. Bing bong. Who challenged me to the push-ups? It was Bitcoin Slayer. Bitcoin Slayer. Next week I'll take your challenge. Definitely not taking that challenge today, bro. Next week I'll take you on the 30 push-ups, or I'll shave my head. Maybe. Whoo, baby, I gotta work on the fitness, boys. We gotta hit the gym. I'll see you guys next time. Bing bong.